Hi friends, welcome back. Today we're going to talk about a really useful concept that can help us start to identify our boundaries and make sure that we are not overstepping into other people's business, and make sure that we're not being held accountable for overstepping into other people's business, which can be a little bit of a challenge too when that's expected of us and it's not appropriate. So this is called the circles of control, and I think it's a really, really simple but really helpful visual. So so we're picturing 3 concentric circles here. The first circle that we're right smack in the middle of, the smallest one in the middle, is our circle of control. These are the things that we can directly control ourselves. We don't depend on other people. We have full autonomy and discretion over what happens in that circle. The next circle out is the circle of influence. These are things that I can't just independently take action on myself and, change the trajectory necessarily, but I do have some influence. I have some input. I may or may not be successful, but I have a little bit of leverage there. The next biggest circle, the one on the outside, is everything else, right? That's where we really don't have control or influence necessarily. That's everything else that happens in the world. And the unfortunate news for the control freaks and perfectionists out there, like myself, is that pretty much everything lives in that outer circle, right? There's very, very little about this life and this planet and the way things evolve in the world that we actually have control or influence over. So how is this applicable? This is something that I would encourage you to start sort of just mentally visualizing and overlaying on a lot of different situations that you come across. Professionally is a great place to start. You can apply this personally as well. But so many times people ask us to do things that aren't actually within our circle of control, or maybe even in our circle of influence, because it's just easier to throw the job on us. We do this to ourselves sometimes too, when we think, man, this situation really needs to be addressed, I'll just try to fix it myself, when really you're not the one in charge. You're not the one with the power or the control to change that situation. Most of the time this comes up with trying to change other people. Again, this could be professional, this could be personal, but the only things within our circle of control are ourselves, our actions, our emotions, how we spend our time. That's somewhat in our control. It's not always in our control. What we put in our bodies, most of the time that's under our control. That's kind of it. Everything else is in somebody else's circle of control. And so our job is to, especially when we're feeling overwhelmed, is to start considering, is this thing that I'm thinking about doing, is that even my business? Or is it somebody else's responsibility, and I'm actually going to be disempowering them by trying to take that away from them? A lot of times, depending on your professional context, I happen to see this a lot in mine and with my clients, you have sort of a bad apple, let's say, in the bunch. Somebody who is causing some problems on a team, perhaps, is introducing a lot of churn and conflict, and because everybody's afraid of that person, nobody wants to address it with them. So they'll task a bunch of other people, hey, how about all of you just adapt? How about all of you just try to fix and change this person, and we'll address and tweak everything else in the system just so that we don't have to deal with a difficult person. Well, you can do that. Sometimes that's what needs to happen, but at the end of the day, it's that other person's responsibility. They're the only one inside of their circle of control, of their emotions, their reactions, how they show up in the situation. And trying to put that on other people is not really going to be that effective for the most part. Certainly we all, it takes two to tango. We all have some accountability and responsibility in these situations. But just encourage you to, if you saw the codependency in the workplace video, this is ties in very, very nicely to that. Start to notice where you are outside of your circle of control and your circle of influence, and you are trying to fix and change things that really you have no business and you have no authority to be trying to fix and change. This is a deeply freeing thing. It is liberating. There is nothing wrong with recognizing that we can't all solve all of the world's problems all of the time. We can't be all things to all people. And when we try to be all things to all people, what we're doing is taking away the autonomy of those other people. It is not doing them a favor. It is not giving them the opportunity to grow and lead their own lives. So there's your pep talk on boundaries and control for the day. Hope that helps. Take care. We'll talk soon.